Hey everybody, I'm Jules, Miss Mindful, and tonight I'm going to talk about, are you too old to be a YouTube creator? I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last few weeks. I turned 60 tomorrow, and this whole YouTube thing started for me about a year ago when I got an idea that maybe I could continue on with my mindfulness and wanting to share it with everyone since COVID started. I had my first mindfulness workshop in February of last year, and then COVID hit. And the interesting thing is that I haven't really done a lot of video. And so there was all the excuses, fear of being on camera, and I didn't know how to edit video, and how was I going to do this? But I started watching YouTube videos and watching different people and all the different ways to make YouTube into a business. And one of the biggest things that I ran into is when I started doing research about, are you too old for YouTube? It was, at 30, you're too old to do YouTube. At 40, you're too old to do YouTube. And here I am turning 60 tomorrow. But it also made me look back on my life. And, I'm one of those people, I don't want to have any regrets. So when I started looking back thinking, oh, did you waste all this time? I was actually doing social media back in the 1990s. Um, I started learning computers from a job that I had, and the first computers I learned on were green screens, but not the green screens that everybody knows today, where you can put a background behind. The computer monitor was actually green, and you had to use some DOS commands to get it to bring up what you wanted to bring up. My first social media interactions were on Prodigy, and I was really into blues music at that time. I was a reviewer for the local blues society, so I would get CDs and review the music. And I joined Prodigy, and they had boards, and that's where you'd go in and interact and share information. Then after that came AOL, the whole you've got mail. And that's what my kids, two of my kids, learned social media on AOL and Messenger. And then I look back at my first cell phone was actually a phone that was the size of a regular home phone back then. And it was actually mounted in my car. It didn't move anywhere. It was just mounted in the car. And I started blogging on the free software of Blogger right after Google bought them out and made it free for everyone. So I had a couple different blogging platforms that I would write on. And so then it grew from there. And then at some points in my life, when life got really stressful and I had to take priorities of my bread and butter job and my family took over, I walked away from blogging. And the interesting fact too is that I've always been an artist. I've drawn and painted and all of that for years since I was a kid. And then when I had that one job, I had an injury. I got carpal tunnel before carpal tunnel was a thing. And going through all that process, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to draw anymore. So I gave it up and I focused more on writing. And so all of this new social media with pictures and videos and all that is new to me, but I have the foundation of social media. The one thing that I do see that's missing from the things when I started was the engagement. you had blog parades where you'd go visit all these different blogs and comment, and you'd build up friendships, and the boards, you would build up friendships. And a lot of those, I'm sure, Facebook groups and all of that include it. But to me, it doesn't seem like there's as much engagement now. It's more about watching other people, and yes, you subscribe and like, but there's not that interaction, and that's what I'm still looking for. So, am I too old to start a YouTube channel and be a YouTube creator? Absolutely not. I just had to change a mindset. I there's so much more in my life. Looking back on it, where I thought I might have regrets, I don't have any regrets. I have done so many things with my life. My biggest value for many, many years was, even though I wanted to have my own business and I wanted to teach and coach and help others, it was more important for me to have the security and have benefits and a steady paycheck, because I was a single mom for a lot of my life. And I've been married twice, divorced twice. I have 2 kids in their 30s. I have my third child is 18, and I now have a grandson. So there's a big gap in there, but what's really fascinating is that I learned so much from my kids. My son, one day when I was posting on Instagram, it was like, hashtags, mom. And it's changing that mindset, because hashtags in my day were pound signs. And so it's just a lot of the terminology and a lot of the things that they put out there. And I just want to say, you're never too old to start changing your mindset. I have always had a side thing where I taught or facilitated groups or did a virtual assistance for people. Or I remember when I had to go back to school, I would actually go out. People would hire me to go to their parents' home and do shortcuts so they could email with their parents. So I've always had the side things, but it's always been a side hustle. And I always said I wanted my own business. But really, in actuality, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to be a philanthropist. And one of the biggest shifts for me 2 weeks ago was when I told someone, you don't hear a lot of people say they want to be a philanthropist. And they said, you are a philanthropist. It's just what you share with people isn't about the bank account. And that was a big eye opener for me. And it has allowed me to go back and see more of what my talents are. Where I always thought I had to push to be more, I just have to acknowledge what I have and learn some little nuances, get past my fear. And I will tell you, if you want to listen to someone who's truly, truly inspirational about entrepreneurship and this whole social media thing, Gary Vee. Again, someone my son told me to listen to, and I have, and it's really started helping me change my mindset, because a lot of the things he believes has always been the things I've believed, but I didn't believe in myself. So again, you're never too old to be a YouTube creator. And the one thing that I have, and I will share more with you as this journey goes on, I'm able to blend business and science with research and technology and art, because I've always been an artist. So those three things, yeah, I think I can be a YouTube creator, even though I'm turning 60 tomorrow. Let me know what you think in the comments. Click subscribe. I'll be posting more videos on a consistent basis. And we'll see where this goes. Namaste. Love and light.